but also she has this heart for the LifeWave leaders. And since she joins LifeWave, she has helping transforming and moving LifeWave to the next level. And like Meredith said in the beginning, she is the most skilled person to move and lead us to where we are going in 2026. Let me introduce you to our incredible Vice President of Sales in North America, Janine Weber. Let's give it a big round of applause.
Like someone knew that I had the most serious devotion to Culture Club back in the 80s with that song. I just dated myself, but my room, my wall was covered with Boy George. I don't know what that says about me, but still love that song. Okay, so I love that we started with mindset this morning, because being in this business for as long as I have, I know, generally speaking, when people are struggling, it's because of what's happening between their ears, right? They're letting that negative self-talk take over. They're letting things that they shouldn't allow in there in. And so I think it's so important to start there. And then also, of course, getting grounded in your why. Because like Meredith said earlier, this business might be simple, but that doesn't mean that it's easy, right? And getting grounded in your why is so important, because it's that thing that's going to get you up out of bed in the morning excited, and it's going to be that thing that pulls you through when things might feel a little hard, when you have a day that's a little challenging, right? Because that happens. But now we want to move to activity, because nothing happens without actual activity, actual conversations, actual sharing, right? We're out there to share the light. And I imagine most of you have shared, or you wouldn't be in this room, but maybe you need to share a little more if you want to hit those goals, if you want to work towards that why. So we're going to talk about a system by which you could do that, and I'm just here to introduce it. You're going to hear from more of my team and many incredible leaders to take you all through this. But I want to talk about first, and this hopefully seems really obvious. Why share? Why do you share? Well, first of all, we have proprietary patented products that nobody else has and that people need. They need them, right? And we have a business opportunity that many people need. And whether that's to earn a little bit and offset the price of eggs or gas, depending on which state you live in, or whether it's to build a big business, you have the opportunity to share that with someone, right? To give them the gift of this business, of entrepreneurship. And obviously, that's how you get paid, right? If you're not sharing with customers and you're not sharing with potential brand partners, you're not earning. And if your goals are little or big, you need to share them if you're going to accomplish any of that. So let's take a look at the old classic funnel, the sales funnel. Woo, that sounds exciting. But it's important, right? Because at the end of the day, everyone you know, and even the people that you don't yet know, are up here at the top of your funnel, right? And you need to start those conversations and continue that follow-up and continue those conversations until you pull them out the bottom. How are you going to do that? Well, we're going to talk about how to do that with the Light Success System. And as you do more and more of those business building activities within the system, the more you will be able to pull people through the funnel to either become one of your incredible customers that loves their products, or a new team member that could turn into a new 1-star manager, 2-star manager, 3-star manager, director, executive, presidential. Who knows what what their potential is, right? Until they start. So, the Light Success System, we talked about this briefly at conference. It is in your LifeWave Now app. We have people onboarding through this system right now, and super pleased to report that people that are starting that onboarding, almost 80% of them are going all the way through that training. which I don't know if you guys know this, but that's an incredible statistic in this channel. So they're resonating with the training. Now, what I want to talk about is what is the system and how does it work within the context of what you're doing right now. First of all, what I want to assure you is that we created this system as a headquarters team basically out of a moral obligation to ensure that everyone that comes through the front door of LifeWave has the opportunity to build a successful business, whether they are on a strong team or not, whether they have a strong enroller or not, right? Because we know sometimes when you build deep down 10, 20, 30 generations in your business, people get a little disconnected from what's happening up here. And sometimes when we're at events, we talk to people and we say, oh, which team are you on? And guess what? They don't know. So if they don't know which team they're on, then they're not accessing a team system, right? So this is a system that we created so anyone in that boat has the opportunity to be successful. Now, we didn't do this in a vacuum. We went out and we, applied all of the knowledge that we have in the many years that we've been in this channel, but more importantly, we talked to the leaders who have created the leader systems at LifeWave. What we wanted to make sure was that anything that we were saying didn't conflict with what you're learning in your team system if you are tapped into that. And I can assure you that it does not, and I can assure you that the leaders that created those systems support this. So if you're super tapped in to the system that your team is using, great, keep doing that. If you're not, this is an opportunity, right? So it's, again, not intended to conflict with that, it's intended to complement that. And what will probably not surprise you, especially those of you who've been around the block once or twice, is when we went out and had those conversations with the creators of the different systems at LifeWave, they're not that different. And guess why they're not that different? They might use different terminology, they might have more steps or less steps, but they're not that different because there really is one way to have a system to build a direct selling business, right? There really is commonality amongst all of those income producing activities that you need to do to build your business. So what we're going to take you through this morning is the LIGHT success system. And it's a clever acronym. So some of you have already figured this out just by looking at the slide. LIGHT. L stands for list your people. I, invite them to connect. G, give them value. H, help them enroll. And T, track your success. So we're going to have a segment on each of these. You're going to hear from leaders how they apply this with their business and with their teams. What I would like to challenge all of you to do here in the room and at home is to think about the parts of this that come naturally to you, that you are really good at. And then more importantly, I want you to think about the things that you need to lean into a little more. And I want you to think about how this applies not only to your personal business, but also to how you lead your team. Sound good? Are you with me? Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to go, and we're going to start with the L, of course, which is list.